Summer solstice, I loved this. I loved the different perspectives. I loved the different artists that they were kind of pulling, and the themes and the ways of expression that they were exploring, but also that like the kind of whispering narrators were different. It wasn't just the same voice kind of giving you all of the context and background information and explaining what was happening or what had happened in the past. It was very much going through, and you had different voices kind of chattering, which added to, I feel like, the world building. It added to the lore. It added to the experience, especially when you're talking about like beings that have like infiltrated and they've, programmed things and stuff like that. I feel like having the multiple, kind of whispering narrators added to the intensity of everything, which fit so well with this. Such a great way to kind of seed that intensity as well, I think, because it added to like the grandeur of it for me personally. And then I liked the kind of the not necessarily like opposing, but how it was kind of set up was opposing that, like, yes, they were both artists in some way, and yes, they were both, expressing themselves with art, but like painting and history and that versus dance are two very different types of art form. And I liked how they used that to show they picked artists. They still, still lived within that kind of scope for portraying the different themes that they were going for. They picked very different types of art, which I thought was really awesome.
I absolutely loved this film. It captured my attention right away. Not only through the use of different mediums, it used anime and art and black and white and narration. It almost felt like it was a documentary without being one. It really captures the attention, and it's talking about such a fascinating subject, the dream world, while combining it with the use of portals, something that's very much talked about in the sci-fi community, as if it's a possibility to travel between worlds. And by combining the two, it just made it so interesting. And it's something that really captures your attention through the whole way, because most of the films that work with these are quite boring, and they don't do it in a way that sounds real. And this one made it sound fascinating and real, and like it is something that could be a possibility. It was just so well done and fascinating, and keeps your attention through the entire film.
Artists have a sacred duty to heal the wounds of the universe, and I think that's really the core base of foundation of what is in this piece. We get this really nice integration of reality and artificial intelligence to tell us the story of living in between reality and the landscape of dreams. And dreams can be feeling of the mind or an artistic dream, and what is reality versus a surrealism. We get this really nice balance of what is art and what is life, and the weaving between the two worlds as we see the importance that it has. They tell us at the end of the film that, you're an entity that like serves this higher purpose, this calling. It's something that you're drawn to, just as you're like drawn to the sun or the moon. You're drawn to this energy, and you are going past the trend. You know, everybody likes to hop on these trends all the time, but, you know, when we find ourselves exploring these different avenues as artists, we kind of can become obsessive and, I don't know, fall deeper into our dreams, so to speak. We have this really nice balance between the worlds. We get to see this artistic symmetry almost of all of these different artistic elements woven into one piece, whether it be surrealism art, whether it be this storytelling, like Brothers Grimm almost experience almost of this fairy tale-esque world, to even having this mockumentary style look between getting these perspectives of these different artists, and like, are these characters from the dream itself, or is this reality? Is this the mind of the artist, or is this the mind of possibly a philosophical universe? I feel like that the way that the story is told sort of reminds me of literature like The Secret, where we get to have this relationship with laws of attraction and how these great influential people, artists, scientists, lived with this lifestyle, and look at what has been built into fruition. And I feel like this story sort of encompasses that feeling as well. We get to see this really interesting viewpoint between all of the characters and their moments of artistry that has been woven into the overall piece.